Hey gang, votes are in. Stacks will be the last train across the old alignment. Stick around to the end of the video and we'll watch him grind upgrade. But first, let's build and install a spring switch at West Crowsnest. I'm going to show you two different versions. This is day 3 Crowsnest construction. Okay, so let's start off with supplies and tools that we're going to use today. Got a cordless drill here, and I'm using a number 1 Robertson bit because I'm also going to be using a number 6 by 1/2 inch panhead screw. I've got pliers for bending wire. I've got various sizes of wire, but I'm going to use 15 thou brass. It seems to work good in N scale. I've got 2 drill bits. I've got a pilot bit, and I've got a 1/4 inch clearance bit. Today I'm going to be using a number 10 Atlas switch. The switch that you use, you want it to be able to move freely, so you don't want a centering spring in it. I've also got a 3/4 inch block of plywood, 1.5 inches wide, 2 inches long. And 2 pencils, one for using and one for losing. Regardless of which version of the spring switch you're going to use, you got to get the switch set in place first. So let's get that taken care of. We're going to begin by marking the XY axis of the hole through the throw bar here. Now I've got the points set in the neutral position. They're not to the diverging root, they're not to the through root. So I get the exact center location of this hole. Because I use plywood roadbed, I like to use a pilot bit first to minimize splintering of the bottom end here. So I'll drill all the way through with this bit, then I'll take my 1/4 inch clearance bit, drill halfway up through the bottom, and then I'll clean the rest of the hole out from the top. The first version we're going to build here has an exposed mechanism, so it's ideally suited towards staging yards or any kind of hidden track. Starting with a 5-inch long piece of wire, you're going to bend a loop in one end. 4 inches from that loop, you're going to put a 90-degree bend, and that's going to point straight down. You want a couple of extra kinks in there so that you can get that wire off the top of the road bed and it's not rubbing. You're going to wrap the loop around your number 6 screw, and you're going to center the 90-degree point down through the hole and drive that screw into the road bed. Now to prepare my switch, I'll cut off the opposite end throw bar, and that's going to eliminate a tiny bit of friction. On the road bed itself, I'll take a chisel and I'll take 1 ply out of the road bed so that I have a nice free area underneath that throw bar. We'll set that brass rod down through the hole in our throw bar and check our tension here. You want just enough that you're thrown over to the direction of travel that you want, not too much that a car derails. If you have to adjust it, you simply bend the brass rod one direction or the other to increase or decrease tension. Okay, let's build our general mechanism here. So take that 1/2 inch screw and you're going to drive it in about a 1/4 inch up from the bottom edge, centered, about halfway into your block of 3/4 inch plywood. You don't want it all the way down. You're going to take your brass wire and you're going to bend a loop in one end and loop it over top of that screw. I always loop it so that when that screw tightens, it's going to tighten the loop and not open that loop up. You want that wire pointing straight up, and we're going to tighten it down so it can't move anywhere. Take your pliers, slip them between the wire and the face of that plywood, and get them nice and close to that screw. What you're going to do is you're going to put a little tweak in it there, then you're going to bend it over top of the pliers, and that's going to give you clearance between that plywood and the wire itself. Now, determine on how you're going to mount this thing. Because I'm putting it into a position where I can easily access the top, I'm just going to screw it directly to the road bed like this. If that doesn't work and you want it removable, turn this block into a little piece of L-girder like that. All you do then to install is just drive a couple of screws up through the base into the bottom of your road bed. Here you can see both versions attached to the road bed at West Crowsnest. The first version can also come in handy if you have clearance issues underneath your road bed. Just simply attach it to the bottom and pop it up through the hole and through that throw bar instead. I'm going to stick with the second version here as I have lots of room and I'm going to have a fascia coming down to hide all that mechanism. To complete the installation here, we're going to install the frog juicer. I've already got these wires soldered into my bus, and I've got my frog wire soldered onto the pad on that number 10 switch. So you can see we've got power, we've got a green light on. We'll just give it a quick test here. If you've not used frog juicers before, they work fantastic for routing power to the frog. So if you look over the nose of that trailing unit, you can see the rod activate. It's going to throw us back to main track. We'll reverse direction, and our green LED should go to red. if everything's wired up the way it should be and things are functioning properly. With our spring switch working properly, our frog juicer doing what it's supposed to do, I ended up getting track laid on the rest of this new alignment inside the RTC office. I'm going to show you how to lay track on day 5. It's just going to be a little bit easier to show you on the new mainline alignment. I can also go over super elevation. CP8705 is going to lead our stacks up and over top of the old alignment here. AC4400 8541 is assisting as a mid-train DPU on this train. If you look in front of 8705 here, you'll see the new roadbed poking through the backdrop there. And as we grind a little further up the hill, this is the other end of the new alignment popping out. As you can see, the roadbed we're traveling over now is directly in the way of any further progress. And with a few hours left on day 3, that's what I'm going to get at. All the old roadbeds coming out, we're going to clean everything up and prepare for day 4. Day 4, new roadbed, we're going to get everything connected to the old layout. That's it for this one. I've got a little bit more work to do here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on day 4.